Hey, what's up, everybody? Coach Ben podcast here. We're doing it remote this time. Here with Jim from Jiu Jitsu Magazine. And what's up, Jim?
Man, rocking the social distance episode. This is cool. So it's gotten real since our last podcast about this topic, and most notably within our community, what's been affected is the jiu-jitsu academies. And you being a jiu-jitsu academy owner yourself, how's this been affecting you, and what are some of the things you've done to kind of counteract what's going on?
Well, let's our last episode was I think on the 9th, right? It was like it was a while ago. It was the beginning of March, and we're just about to hit the beginning of April. So let's just recap the current state of affairs. I think when we record our podcast, it was kind of like, the state of affairs was more like, this thing is coming, and I think it's going to affect us. Uh, I did not really know how much it was going to affect us until about maybe a couple of days after we recorded that podcast, and really, things have kind of gone in the same direction as every other country that's had this COVID-19 coronavirus. We now when we recorded that podcast, I think the U.S. barely had any cases, right? And now the U.S. is leading the world in cases. There's over like 100,000. So things have changed. Our episode, I made a comment and I said our episode didn't age well because I was very optimistic then. I still am not negative on it, but things have definitely taken a turn for the worst since that episode. So real quick, Jim, before we talk about the gyms and the jiu-jitsu academies and other controversies, how are you doing? How's life changed?
Well, it's a little bit of a bummer to not train and get in any kind of reps of any sorts the same way you could on a normal day. But all in all, everything's well. I have a reasonable amount of toilet paper stocked up in the closet with about 6 rolls of paper towels. Nothing hoarding, no hoarding going on here, but doing well.
Yeah, I haven't trained jiu-jitsu since probably at least 2 weeks. I've just been doing solo drills. I posted some solo drills on my page on my Instagram, and people can check them out. But really, yeah, no jiu-jitsu. I'm pretty sure every jiu-jitsu gym at this point is closed to the public anyway. And yeah, man, it's been a little bit rough. But just kind of continuing on with the social, the kind of the how we have to behave socially now. I think let's talk real quick about like, the just going forward, right? What's going to happen? Because I think the healthcare system overload is definitely the number one concern, right? I know you talked to some experts on this recently. So in my opinion, that is the number one concern, is you don't want the healthcare system to get overloaded. That's where massive deaths start happening. And then secondly, there's also a balance, right? If we kind of take this social distancing and extend it and overreact to it for an extended period of time, then we're going to crash the economy. Then people's way of life is going to change. Standard of living is going to go down. And then there's also back end effects there, like suicides. When unemployment goes up, generally suicides go up, generally crime goes up. So, there's like a balance. It's not just, I have, many opinions on this, but really, I think I would say I'm in the middle, right? I want people to get back to work, but then I don't want people to go back to work at the cost of lives, So what do you think about this, Jim? Where were you at with the experts you spoke to on this topic?
Well, excuse me. The big thing that they really drove home is that this thing is very serious, It's very serious, and it is to be taken seriously. It's not just an overreaction. And just kind of going into
It's
the
not just the flu.
what's that?
It's not just the flu.
It's not just the flu. Exactly. It's not just the flu. It's something very serious. And, you just mentioned it yourself, talking about the curve. Everyone's talking about the curve right now. And the whole social isolation or social distancing and the isolation, it's such an important tool, and to just again, like you stated, not overwhelming the resources that we have available to for all the people uh, who treat these kind of things, all the facilities. So my take is that man, if the people who actually study this stuff and deal with this stuff, infectious diseases, cell work, if they're saying that we need to do this, then by all means, I will appeal to authority on this one and just listen to those people, those folks that are educated
Yeah,
on
I mean,
this.
you definitely want to lean towards the experts here. Most people, when they're speaking on a topic, they're not an expert at, they're generally wrong. And if, let's say, 95 out of 100 experts say to do a certain thing, like social distance, like, stay away from crowds, like stay at home, you should probably listen to those people. There's always going to be like one or two fringe experts that go against the grain, and that's just, you got to go with the majority of the experts here, and not side with like one or two people. I think I've seen that online, and it's dangerous. Another thing, kind of, with this is also kind of ties in with the gyms, right? So I own a gym. I actually have 4 of them. So, this directly affects me, and it directly affects you guys at home that go to jiu-jitsu gyms. Maybe you own a jiu-jitsu gym. Maybe you own a fitness gym. I have both. And really, one of the things that I've done over the last 2 weeks, uh, because we can't train, we can't really even teach, is to just look into options, right? So one of the options that I think, as a small business owner, as a gym owner, if you own a gym, or even if you are friends with the owner, or even if you just train at a gym, your gym owner, the gym owner should be applying for an SBA loan right now, in my opinion. The one I believe right now is not the one that is under the CARES Act. So you will have to repay this one if you apply right now. But it can be kind of lumped into the next SBA loan that they're going to, I believe, release the documents sometime in the next couple of days. And that one will be forgiven. So meaning, if you continue to pay your employees, as a gym owner, as a small business owner, it's not just gyms, it's all small businesses, they will forgive that loan, as far as I know. So this is what my accountant has told me. This is what I've read online. This is what, I've listened to every single, Trump and company speech every day. So that's what they've been saying. Now, I'm in the process myself. It is not easy. Okay. It's very easy to screw up. So I would recommend, if you're a gym owner, if you're a small business owner, hire an accountant to do this for you. I think the fees, they will actually repay you the fees that you used to get this done by a professional. So that's number one. If you own a small business, apply for the SBA loan. Just the thought of it being forgiven, you need to take that chance if you want your business to survive. That's at least my situation. Now, you may have a business in which you have an extremely large reserve, or rainy day fund. Uh, I don't know many business owners that do. So most jiu-jitsu gyms will not be able to survive more than a month. 1 month is already tough. So get that loan. There's other things you can do. GoFundMe, Patreon is, I've started a Patreon, which is right up there for my gym and also for my own content. Because, as a gym owner, I don't make a living off of my gyms, and that's kind of like a good and a bad thing, right? I make my living off of training private clients, and right now you're not training personal trainers, strength conditioning coaches, yoga instructors, jujitsu instructors. They don't have any. They don't. They don't have any way to make a living right now. For at least, I would say, at least till May, right? So the new the new guideline is I think the federal guideline is now until April 30th, right? So we're down until then. What is your thought, Jim, on jujitsu academies that uh, are staying? I don't want to say staying open, because I don't think any really are staying open, but certain jujitsu academies are continuing to charge their members throughout this disaster. What do you think about that?
Yes. That's a very interesting notion, and actually a case by case situation, because not everyone's in the same position as the man next to him. So all in all, I would just kind of make a general blanket statement that if their students are continuing to pay, because there are some hardcore students out there that um, they will ride for the cause, and then they will continue their payments to their academy. And if that's the case, and if some of these academy owners are reaping that check, I would say if they have staff, consider giving a portion, maybe even at a reduced rate, to the staffers who keep the academy running. So that's one idea I've heard out there that some academies are doing. The other ones, should an academy charge or not? Again, I'm not in that position to make that decision, but it's a tough sell. I mean, if they're locked down, I mean, these people have families. It's family first, and someone needs to be able to take care of their family before they start, spending money on other things. Even jujitsu,
Yeah,
as much as we
it's a
love it,
tough one.
family first.
It's tough. I think I have my own thoughts on this. I know that there are many academies that have transitioned kind of online, and they're doing it right. They're able to give the students value or content, and then if the student is has the means to continue supporting the academy, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, I don't how long that's going to last. I don't know. But my what I'm going to do at my academy is basically I'm just going to shut everybody's membership on April 1st. So starting April 1st, I'm just going to completely suspend everybody's membership, and I hope to reactivate everybody on May 1st. But that may or may not happen. And my thoughts are, with this is that if you're able to provide, if your gym is able to provide the content that is valuable enough for you to continue paying, I think there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing. Now, I do have some issues with gym owners that guilt or use kind of like a herd mentality to pressure their students into uh, not stopping their membership. Um, uh, Here's an example, right? And I have no problem with students posting this, but I think when gym owners post this, it becomes a little bit cringy for me. And that's like, those posts where it says, uh, make sure you keep paying your gym because you need to have a gym to come back to train at. These posts, I don't think there's anything wrong with that for students to post that. But when I see gym owners and academy owners post that, it's pretty cringy, man. It's just like it's nobody else's responsibility to keep your business alive during a disaster. It is your business, and if your business goes down because of a black swan event, then it goes down. It's nobody else's responsibility, and I have a problem with that. So there are certain academies that, I don't want to name names, that they'll just give all their students like an online access to some canned stuff that's been recorded like 4 years ago, and tell everybody, okay, here's your online access to this canned stuff that, you know, recorded 4 years ago for the entire association. Um, but continue paying because we need your support. That's, to me, that's garbage. Now if the gym owner is willing to go into the academy, film, you know, take the same amount of time that they would be taking if there was class, then I think there is value there. And I think that yes, if the student chooses to pay, that they're at least doing the best they can, and I think that's legitimate. I have friends that are doing that. I also have friends that just straight up paused all their members like me, because they realized that they could not provide the value that people are paying for. And I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but I'm kind of selfish in this manner, is that my integrity is everything to me, and uh, I'm not gonna lose that over money. So if I can't sleep at night, then I'm gonna, I'm not gonna do something that's gonna make me not sleep at night. And to be honest, charging people for a service that they're not getting, and having to rely on somebody else is not a good feeling for me. It's kind of like a little bit disingenuous, a little bit manipulative. And so at least that's how I do things. I don't fault anybody for doing whatever they have to do. That's just how I feel about it. And if my gym goes down because of this, so be it. So this is my plan anyway. My plan is, once we can open again, I'm going to have a paid in full membership at a discount, and members who are, want to support the academy, they can choose that option. They can just pay for a full year in advance, and that infusion of cash will help. Will help. And so that's it. That's my plan as far as that goes. And obviously the SBA loan, obviously my Patreon. Um, I haven't done a GoFundMe, but some of the students have wanted to do one. I don't think it's the right time yet. But anyway, so that's it. That's what I think. Most gyms should do is they should start with trying to be self-reliant, and then if they really have to, then yeah, you can lean on your members, but make sure you provide the value that they're getting for what they're paying for. So yeah, that's that. And if you're a gym owner, try to negotiate some free months of rent. I don't think that's out of the question. I think negotiating 3 to 6 months, ideally, of free rent is not out of the question. They can't evict you anyway. So really, if you can't pay, you can't pay. That's what it is. So yeah, as far as the jiu-jitsu academies go, that's how I think. That's how I'm doing it. I'm not sure if that's the right way to do things, but that's how I'm doing it. So yeah, this ties into, by the way, one of the next topics that I wanted to get into. Jim, have you seen uh, Gordon Ryan's post with him training in Tom DeBlass's gym with like 10 or so people?
Oh
Have you
no,
seen that one?
no, I haven't
Okay,
seen that
let
one.
me
When
let
did
me
this post?
describe it. Why don't you look at it while I describe it,
Okay.
Jim? Go
All
go
right.
to Gordon Ryan's Instagram. And so there's a pretty big controversy right now in the jiu-jitsu community over Gordon, and uh, we'll get into it, and I'll share my thoughts. But basically, Gordon and Tom DeBlass held a training session at Tom DeBlass's gym in somewhere in New York, and they had like 10 people in there, all training, which created a hell of a firestorm online with people uh, criticizing them and saying, they're bad role models, or they're terrible people, and yeah, I mean, I'll share my thoughts in a second, Jim. What do you see it? You see
No,
that post?
no. Was
Did
this
he
a
delete it?
recent? Maybe the last one I saw of him was his I saw the one, okay, the one with the mullet, and then the one where he had Trump's face superimposed over
Oh, it looks like,
his
I
own.
guess they deleted it. They
Mm.
must have deleted it.
Oh,
Oh.
so here we go to add to the controversy.
Well, I mean, it was definitely up there for a while, and then oh no, it's still on Facebook, I guess. So I guess it's on Facebook. But I mean, it's nothing special. It's just a picture of Gordon, Nikki Rodriguez, Tom DeBlas, Gordon's girlfriend, and a couple other people. So anyway, here are my thoughts on this, right? So first of all, it's the controversy was that he was being a bad role model, right? And so anyway, that's it is what it is, right? I don't think that what Gordon's doing is the smartest thing to be like broadcasting or advertising, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to be the person going on Facebook or Instagram and criticizing him and saying, you shouldn't do this because, all that shit. Because honestly, I think the people that do that a lot of times they're not. It's not about. They're not trying to do the right thing. They're trying to feel important. They're trying to feel significant in the moment by you know shitting on somebody, and I just that stuff has never resonated with me. So, uh, do I agree with what he's doing? Would I do it? Probably not. But at the same time, think of who he is. He's a greatest of all time type of guy who needs to train in order to stay at that level. If you don't have the experience, if you've never competed at a high level, um, I don't I don't think that you get what it takes, right? So um, I would just leave it alone. I would just say just leave this one alone. But what do you think, Jim? You think he's because one last thing is I don't think Gordon ever said he was some kind of a role model. He's only said he's the best, right? He's wants to be the best or he is the best. He's never said he's a role model. So who gives a shit what he does? His opinion isn't really that important. It's really his actions that are more important, and yes, he probably should not post a picture of this and say, I think that the caption was like, while people are looking for excuses to stay home, I'm here like being the best. That was a little bit cold, but tone deaf maybe, but I don't have nothing to say about that. Like whatever. I expected that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this goes into the whatever file. We're not one of his training partners. We're not necessarily in contact with him, literally physically. Um, and is it good judgment? Probably not. But at the same time, I think it goes into the people getting wrapped up into the wrong things,
I I
ill
kind of
timed.
wonder, like, why do people care?
Yeah,
Why does anybody care? Who gives a shit what Gordon does? He could, do whatever he wants. Oh, he's a bad example for, dude. People should be self-reliant. They should. There are way too many other even worse role models out there. Go after those people. It's like I just don't understand why people would take time out of their day to address this. And I guess I've now been sucked in because I'm addressing it. But like I just don't get it. Like at a 3 p.m. on a Sunday, the last thing that I'm going to do is go on Gordon Ryan's Instagram to criticize him on some shit. I just don't get that. I maybe I'm missing something, but I got my own problems.
yeah. I mean,
I
that's
didn't
what it
make
comes
my
down to.
bed this morning. I didn't make my bed this morning. I should
Oh,
go up there and make that shit before I go criticize Gordon.
there. For the
Like,
record, I
what the
made my
fuck are you
bed.
doing?
I made my bed.
Yeah, yeah, I just don't. I don't get it. I think to me, at the end of the day, the people criticizing the guy, they're all trying to get a piece of significance in the world. That's my thought. I could be wrong. Maybe there's really good-hearted people out there who are trying to stand up for the right thing or something. But honestly, there's better ways to do the right thing than go shit on somebody else. Um,
Sure, sure. And at the same time, it's like it seems like he gets kick out of riling up folks. And it's like then at from that point on, it's your decision. Do you choose to get
yeah,
riled
you,
up by
you
it?
you are literally feeding into what he wants. So you have
Mm,
created this controversy. Now we're talking about it. Now we're spreading Gordon's, fame all over the place. So it's kind of like what I guess people accuse Trump of doing, which is kind of like creating these red herrings, calling the Chinese virus or something like that, right? What does it do? It takes the attention off of certain blunders that he's made, right? So boom, there you go. You fell for it. You guys fell for Gordon's trolling, and I think that post that he made had like 500 comments or something.
mm.
It's not easy to get 500 comments, but it's easy when you're Gordon and you say one thing. So anyway,
Right.
that was that. I mean, as far as jiu-jitsu news, Jim, that's all we got. The other thing that happened was Kevin Casey got heel hooked by Craig Jones at Submission Underground yesterday. That's the only other thing that happened. I didn't even watch it because, to be honest,
Yeah, I
I knew
read the
that was going
headline.
to happen.
I read the headline, and there'll be plenty of time to view it a little bit later. But yeah, I look forward to seeing that as well.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, pretty much this podcast, I just wanted to update everybody on our current state of affairs. How everybody's doing. Please leave a comment on how you're doing, how you're continuing your training, things like that. I wanted to address the Gordon thing. Um, what else? Oh yes, um, the one thing that does scare me about this whole coronavirus thing is the bailout, right? You've heard about this bailout, Jim?
Well, what do you mean?
Like how they're going to give everybody, I think like a family of four is going to get like $3,500 if you make less than a certain amount, and if you're a single, you get like I think it's like 1,200 or something. If you're
Okay,
married, you get
yes,
2,400.
I have heard about it. I don't understand the full dynamics of it.
I don't understand it either. And the one why this scares me, along with bailouts for companies, is what where is this money coming from, and is there a reserve? Are they printing it? These are kind of important things, because if they're printing it, I'd rather not have it, because that means possible inflation. And these are just things that, as a business owner, um, you have to take what you can get as far as help. But I don't want. I try to run an ethical business, and I don't want people that are running unethical businesses and trying to take advantage of things to also be lumped in and bailed out for something that they were going down anyway. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about that, how it's regulated. Maybe that's a topic for another episode. But so yeah, that's where we are, right?
Absolutely. These are unprecedented times, and it's going to take a lot of creative thinking to, pay bills and keep businesses afloat. And so it should be interesting. But at the end of the day, I'm sure you stand in lockstep with me when I say we do wish everyone the best on this,
Yeah.
because it has affected everyone, literally everyone, to a certain degree. This is unprecedented in our lifetime. This is a global pandemic where you have all these, different ways and different methods of doing things that it seems like on a global, especially on a global scale, that people can't agree on. People can't agree on anything. But here's the thing: the world is agreeing on this right now. That this is something to be taken very seriously, and that in
Oh
itself is
yeah.
very unique. Very unique.
Yeah, and jujitsu. I hate to say this, but jujitsu, you know, fitness gyms, yoga, these types of things, we have to be prepared. They may never return to normal again, right? So like jujitsu already came with kind of like a stigma, right? Of yeah, people are sweating on me. Now, what do you think's going to happen, right? So now it's beyond. People don't even want to give each other handshakes, right? They're
Yeah,
they're talking about
yeah.
eliminating handshakes for a year, something like that, right? So what is this going to do for jujitsu? So um, I hope that I hope things return to normal with a vaccine or something like that, or I don't know, we evolve or something like that. Who knows? But this is a very scary time, and yeah, I hope everybody's doing all right. I know that this has definitely scared me into thinking about how brick and mortar businesses work, how my career is going to work, things like that. And I think the one piece of advice I give for everybody is if you're not doing some kind of business, transactional business online at this moment, this is probably the time. And I understand that the market is flooded right now with content, online content now, especially now. But you know, what can you do, right? So if you're not doing something online, now's the time.
Well, very good, Ben. As usual, you're very informative. You have a very good take on everything. And once again, where can people go to find out more about SBA loans? Just a Google search, or
Um,
is there?
SBA.gov. Um, I'm pretty sure they're putting out the new documents probably today. It's Monday, but we'll see. I know that the online portion was down. If you own a small business, I don't think I think it's mandatory. You must do it. And that's just from what I know of small businesses. So you must do it.
And then also, you have your Patreon account open, so be sure to check out Ben's Patreon account. and
Yeah,
and
so I started the Patreon because I just a lot of my students were asking me, well, what if I really want to support the gym? $10 on Patreon. That'll help you out. So far I think I just have like two of my students on there, so we'll see how it goes.
Yep, it's a journey of 1,000 miles, starting with that single step. There you go, getting a little zen on you. But all right,
Yeah,
very very
talented
good,
champ.
Ben. Thanks,
Thanks, Jim.
thanks, Ben. And till next time, and we'll do this in social isolation once again in the future. It was fun.
All good. Thank you.